Hi, it's Ashley from Sweet Dreams Bake Shop, and today we're going to be making watermelon meringue pops. These are so fun for summer. So let's get piping. First, I'm separating 3 egg whites out. Usually I use about 5 egg whites and 300 grams of sugar in my recipe, but I am kind of having it today. So I'm only using 3 egg whites, and then I'm going to use 150 grams of granulated sugar. Put your sugar and water on the stove without agitating it whatsoever. Just let it come to temperature. When you notice that there are a lot of bubbles, you want to start whipping your egg whites in the stand mixer. I really highly recommend against holding a mixer to do this unless that's all you have. I just find it easier with the stand mixer so that I don't have to hold on to 2 things at once. When that sugar comes to temperature, which is 239 degrees Fahrenheit, then you want to slowly pour in that sugar in a steady stream into the whipping egg whites. Whip this on high for 2 minutes. If you don't have a thermometer, you can eyeball this and just kind of look at when the sugar is really bubbling but hasn't changed color yet. I found that it still works, but you might not get the most perfect results. You want to whip this until you get really stiff peaks, but you want to make sure that you don't get stiff, dry peaks. And I actually over whipped mine just slightly, so it was a little bit dry instead of shiny. However, because I've done this so many times, I know that when adding color in there, it does help get it back down a level, which is the level that we want it to be at for the texture. Normally, I would just really carefully fold in the color so I maintain that airiness in the meringue, but like I said, I want to get rid of some of that dryness that I created from over whipping, so you'll notice I kind of take my spatula to kind of press down that color. I'm putting a multi-star tip down into that piping bag, and you could use any star tip you'd like, or you could use a round tip if you wanted to as well. This is all about your preference. Today I'm using a gold paper straw, but you can go ahead and use any lollipop stick or skewer that you would like. Anytime that you are piping meringue or putting meringue in the oven, you need to make sure that you put down parchment paper or anything else that is super non-stick. I'm adding some dark chocolate chips for the seeds. I'm using dark today because meringue is really sweet, so I like to tone it down just a little bit with these kind of bitter chocolate chips. When piping these meringues, I'm really just eyeballing things. I'm not using a stencil at all. What's great about meringues is that you can kind of make them as small or as large as you would like. If it's about numbers for you and you need to make a certain number of these meringues, then you can do that by just kind of eyeballing things and adjusting as you see fit as you go along. A little tip, if you're the type of piper that kind of likes to drag your tip through the meringue as you're doing it, then make sure to clean that tip off often with a little bit of a warm cloth so that you still have those little ridges that show. Meringue does expand a little bit, so you do need to be careful that you're leaving some room. If you guys have watched any of my videos, then you know I really hate wasting piping bags, especially on small amounts like this. So I'm just going in and adding that green directly to that pink piping bag, and I'm going to run it through that piping bag a couple of times so that it's mostly green. Right now I'm not being too picky about it though, because it's kind of that whimsy looking type of watermelon, so I like it the way that it turns out. If you want your meringue to be a pure green, which I completely understand, then just make sure that you use a new piping bag instead of doing what I did. I want these watermelons to be a little bit glam, so I'm adding some pink sanding sugar, and now I'm going in with some Roxy & Rich Edible Pearl Sparkle Dust. The camera is not picking up how wonderfully sparkly these really are. These were in the oven at 175 degrees Fahrenheit for about 4 hours. I know that's a super low oven temperature and a really long time, but the reason for that is because meringues burn really easily and your color will alter too much if you try to turn up that temperature. I'm just taking some cellophane bags, which I found at my local Walmart, and I am going to kind of measure how short I want these bags. You could easily just place these into the bags as is, but I like it a little bit shorter. In order for that ribbon to tie a little bit more easily, I am relieving some of that tension by adding a twist tie and then putting the ribbon on top. If your twist tie is showing through and you don't like that, then after you have tied everything with the ribbon, you can take out that twist tie and then you'll just have your ribbon left. These are super duper cute. I had dark green ribbon on hand, but I think lime green ribbon or white ribbon would have looked really nice with this as well. I've always wanted to do a 1 in a melon party, but now that both of my kids have passed the 1-year-old stage, I think I'm just going to have to make these for somebody else one day. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you can be part of this sweetie fam. Right now, I'm uploading daily, so make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when I upload. Also, be sure to comment, request, or ask a question. I love hearing from you guys. Bye!